All right, let's talk about something that could be quietly holding your career hostage: communication. I mean, think about it. Getting this right can be the rocket fuel for your growth, but getting it wrong, well, that can keep you stuck. Today, we're going to walk through a simple framework to help you level up big time.
I want you to really let this sink in. It basically means there's a ceiling on your potential, and that ceiling is built by how well you communicate. You ever feel like you've got amazing ideas, but no one's listening? Or that you're just not getting the credit you deserve? Yeah, this is probably why.
So, let's start with a number: 4. Why 4?
Well, this isn't just some random number. It's a roadmap. It's the 4 distinct stages that every single one of us has to climb to become a truly exceptional communicator.
Think of it like a video game or climbing a ladder. You can't just jump to the final boss. You have to beat each level. And the key, the absolute key, is knowing which level you're on right now, so you know exactly what to do to move up. So, let's break them down. Okay, our journey begins where most people are. This is the big leap from being completely in the dark to finally seeing the light. And the only way to make that jump is through one thing: education.
So this is level 1, unaware. This is the I don't know what I don't know zone. You think you're doing just fine, but for some reason, your message just isn't landing. Maybe you talk too fast or fidget or use a ton of filler words. You might even be annoying people and you have absolutely no idea. You can't fix a problem you can't see.
So how do you get out of level 1? Simple. You have to get educated. You need to learn the fundamental building blocks of what great communication actually looks like. It's about getting a new set of eyes to see yourself with. Let's look at the 3 big pillars you need to learn.
First up is your vocal image. Look, your voice is an instrument. You can play it beautifully, or you can just make noise. This is about your volume, your pacing, your tone, and so importantly, your use of pauses. Great speakers use these things to create drama, to emphasize points, and to keep you hanging on every word. Next, there's your visual image. This is what your audience sees. It's your body language, your eye contact, your facial expressions. The best communicators are totally in control of this. Their gestures aren't random, they're purposeful. They use their body to support their words, not distract from them. And finally, the third pillar, your verbal image. This is about the words you choose and how you structure them. Are you just dumping a bunch of data on people, or are you weaving it into a story that they can connect with? Instead of just rambling, are you using clear frameworks? This is the difference between being confusing and being compelling. Okay, so once you learn all that, you climb up to the next level. You are now officially aware. But here's the thing. Awareness isn't the same as skill. To actually turn what you know into what you do, you need a very specific plan of action.
And welcome to level 2. And I'm going to be honest, this level can be kind of painful. Because now you see everything. You hear every and like. You notice every time you look away or talk too fast. You can't unsee your mistakes, and it can be super frustrating. This is exactly where most people get stuck.
So how do you break through this wall? You steal a page from the playbook of every elite athlete, every world-class musician, every top performer on the planet. The process is simple: record and review. Pro athletes don't just play, they watch the tape. They analyze every single move. And we have to do the same for our communication.
Here's exactly how it works. You find a random speaking prompt online, then you pull out your phone and record a video of yourself answering it for about 10 minutes. But here's the secret sauce, the most important part. You have to wait a full 24 hours before you watch it. Why? Because that waiting period turns off the harsh inner critic and turns on the objective coach.
When you finally review it, you do it in 3 separate passes. For the vocal review, you put your phone face down and just listen. What do you hear? For the visual review, you mute the audio and just watch. What are your habits? And finally, for the verbal review, you can use a free tool to get a transcript and analyze your word choice. The end result? You'll have a super specific, personalized hit list of exactly what you need to work on.
So once you start that review process and begin to practice, you make the leap from aware to skilled. But this is where a brand new, sneaky little psychological barrier pops up. And this is the thing that stops most people from ever reaching the top. It's the feeling of being a fraud.
So now you're at level 3, skilled. This is what we call conscious competence. It means you can do it, but you have to think about it. You're in a presentation actively telling yourself, okay, slow down, pause, make eye contact. It works, but it takes a ton of mental energy, right? It just doesn't feel natural yet.
And here's the trap. As you're practicing these new skills, this little voice in your head might start shouting, "This isn't you. You're trying to be someone else. This is so fake." And that feeling is so uncomfortable that a lot of people just give up and go back to their old, comfortable, but less effective habits.
But you have to make this crucial reframe in your mind. The feeling you have, it is not fake. It's unfamiliar. You aren't being inauthentic. You are simply a beginner trying a new skill. It feels weird because it's new, not because it's false. That shift is everything.
I love this analogy. Think of your voice like a piano. When you decide to speak with a lower pitch or pause more often, you're not trying to play someone else's piano. You're just exploring new keys on your own instrument that maybe you've never used before. They can't be fake. They are your keys. They're just unfamiliar. And learning to use them expands your range.
So how do you make the unfamiliar feel totally natural? You use this simple loop called the mastery cycle. You pick just one thing to work on, like pausing. You try it in a real conversation. Afterwards, you reflect. How did that feel? What worked? Then you plan one tiny improvement and you do it again. It's that cycle of practice and reflection that builds the muscle memory.
You run through that cycle over and over and over again. And then, finally, you arrive at the destination. This is where all that deliberate practice pays off, and your new skills just become a part of you. And this is level 4, mastery. This is unconscious competence. You're not thinking about the mechanics anymore. You just walk into a room, you focus on what you want to achieve, and your communication skills just work. They get you there automatically. It's effortless, it's authentic, it's powerful. And this, right here, is the ultimate prize. At level 4, there's no longer a gap between how smart you are and how well you can express it. Your communication finally matches your capability, and people can finally see, clearly, the true value you bring to the table. So there you have it, the 4 levels, the entire roadmap from unaware to mastery. The only thing left is to take that first step. So I'll leave you with a challenge. Based on everything we just went over, what is the one single behavior, just one, that you are going to commit to practicing this week?